All right, they're saying Brendan Schaub until he goes live. I have 3 Brendan Schaub-related clips for you guys tonight. Why don't we get to those? Again, $255 away from the goal. PayPal, Super Chats, memberships, the whole deal. Do what you can. Everybody chip in, and we'll knock out that $255 goal. You guys want to see Bryan Callen absolutely fed the fuck up with Brendan Schaub? As Red Bar would say, we've got a rift. We've got a rift between these two. I think the combined pressure of the Gringo Poppy sucking dog shit, Brendan Schaub losing all of his Showtime stuff and now losing money, finding out that his dad runs his company, the Bobby Lee shit going on, I think Bryan Callen has just about had it with old Coattails Schaub. And the evidence I bring you today is he did a show with Brendan today, and one of the clips is Brendan Schaub interrupting him constantly. I mean, Brendan cannot shut the fuck up while Bryan is trying to make a point, and sometimes it's not what the man says on a show. It's the man's face. I want you guys to check this out. This is from the Fighter and the Kids subreddit, which is so great. It's a subreddit where the fans on there just hate the shit out of the two guys doing the show. So here we go. Brendan Schaub and Bryan Callen talking, I think, MMA. And Bryan Callen, watch the visual disgust with which he reacts to Brendan Schaub. These two, I'm telling you, ain't going to make it to the end of the year. One of these guys is calling it and saying, I'm fucking out.
Time, because think about the business. This is interesting, right? How are you gonna market it? They don't really speak English. They're dry, and all they do is win.
They're humble.
Yeah, and they're not the most exciting. So what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a marketing team, how do you market this to the American fan base?
By the way, the minute I take marketing advice from Brendan Schaub is the day I shut this whole thing down. It's over. The minute Brendan Schaub is like, yo, B, let me be your marketing advisors. I have trouble with that word, B, but I can tell you how to be profitable. You just have to have a really rich dad, own your company, and then just kind of give it to you and use you as a write-off. Do you have that? No. Oh. Have you tried billboards, B?
Well,
now you can do one of two things, because also your business model.
Whoa! Did you see the rift? Did you see it right there? Bryan Callen, believing it was his turn to talk on a two-man show. Brendan steamrolls over him like a brain-damaged ape, and Bryan just, fuck, I should have known better than to think I could talk around this orangutan. Jesus.
Well,
now you can do one of two things, because also your business model, now you just got to fill cards, right?
Oh, that smile and shake of the head and looking up at the sky. This man has had it. This man is, well, first of all, look at it. This idiot is telling him how people should market the UFC. Yeah, guys, you know what Dana White's had a really tough time with these last 20 years or so? Marketing and growing Ultimate Fighting. Dana's had a really hard time. He really needs to call in a guy who used to be a human punching bag for his promotion to tell him how to promote this and get the word out to more people. Thank God for Brendan Schaub. So Brendan starts going on his rant, and Bryan's like, I guess I get to talk. It's my show too, right? The minute he starts talking, Brendan's like, wait, I can't let my big fat tongue and my flow skull get in the way of me continuing to motor mouth out this gold. Fuck. Mexican salsa cookies, guys, get it? Because he married a Mexican. No, taquitos, guys, but it's keto. I don't think you guys get it.
And all they do is win.
They're humble.
Yeah, and they're not the most exciting. So what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a marketing team, how do you market this to the American fan base?
Now, in fairness to Bryan Callen, where he fucked up, he thought when Brendan Schaub asked his co-host a question, Bryan, being the idiot he is, thought that he would get to answer the question on his show. Bryan, Brendan forgot he asked you the question a millisecond after it came out of his mouth. Let him roll. He's the genius here. Haven't you seen the Gringo Poppy?
Well,
now you can do one of two things because also your business.
That is the most frustrating. Have you ever clenched your mouth like that? Have you ever done a mouth clench quite like that? I have. We all have. Anybody who's worked with someone they don't want to be working with has made that mouth clench where they're like, that's biting your tongue so hard that you've got lockjaw. And then wait for the shaking the head look and the fed upness.
Your business model, not now. Now you just got to fill cards, right? Enough time.
He just looks off to the side. Yeah, fuck it. Why am I even here? And you got to remember, Callan's got the Me Too on him. So the only option he's got outside of continuing to do a failing show with Brendan Schaub is he's got to go listen to Sam Tripoli rant about God knows what for 5 hours. So there's no victory for Bryan Callen. He's got to keep doing this shit or he's got to go with some other blacklisted comic. Ooh, is that hard to watch. Thank you very much to Pumice Stone for the $4.99 and Widowmaker for the $20 super chat. He says, I love the rant on Bolin and Schaub. Well, thank you. I think the whole first hour of this show has been something worth checking out. 235 away from our goal. Oh, wait a minute. We've also got Ethan says for your counter gay ops. Throws in $15 on PayPal. So let's make it 220 left in our goal tonight, guys. Great job. Keep her going. There's the PayPal link in the chat. Derek says the honeymoon is over. Schaub will quit first, says Chris Weaver. I don't know, man. See, I think Bryan Callen's got some money. I think Callen's got a little bit because he's done TV shows. He's done some movies. Schaub's the one who's new money in all this. Schaub's the one who's got the rich dad running the company at a loss at this point. Because they're still spending money like it was the Showtime days, and it ain't the Showtime days anymore. So they're losing some coin. Schwab thinks he understands marketing because of the UFC. Yeah, anybody can go into the UFC and get punched in the head. Tito Ortiz got punched in the head a lot. I wouldn't let him run my marketing division or my decision-making division in any way, shape, or form. Indiana Jake in the Lost Packages says, it seems like more of these former fighters, like pro athletes who go into media after retirement, are horrible. Yeah. Loaded Wrench says, that's the face right before the police show up. Isn't it, though? Just that, fuck this fucking guy. God damn. I could have been Rogan's co-host if I'd have played my cards right. Someone says, wait, Bryan Callen got Me Too'd? Oh, yeah, there was some reporter lady or some lady who wrote a whole article about how he sexually advanced on her, and she said no, and he kept going. I'll be honest, I don't think Callen did anything, like, illegal. It all sounded very borderline, a little skeezy, but kind of a no harm, no foul thing. But it was in the peak of the Me Too stuff, so he had to go. He was actually off that podcast for a while. And then he had to do some show with Sam Tripoli. Yeah, I guess he could do a podcast with D'Elia. You could have two Me Too guys. They could call it the Two Me Toos with Callan and D'Elia. So I don't know. Watch those two. I don't think that podcast makes it to the end of the year. I just don't think they've got an end of the year run in them. It's just been thing after thing after thing that just keeps going wrong for these two idiots. I mean, these two try their best, and they fuck up constantly. Now see the kind of errors and mistakes they're going to start making now when they're under the microscope, and they've been fucking up. Remember, they were above suspicion, and nobody thought these guys were doing anything wrong when they were doing all the Bobby Lee shit that blew up and fucked them up. Now imagine what they're going to do when they're under a little bit of heat and scrutiny. Oh, boy. It's going to get bad for those two idiots, and I'm going to be here to watch it. $220 away from our goal tonight. We'll do 30 minutes of overtime if we hit it. There's the link in the chat. Oh, do you guys? So that was the Bryan Callen. I've had it with this fucking guy clip. Are you guys ready for a Bryan Callen, Brendan Schaub cope and seethe? Ooh. You know how, and again, thanks to the Fighter and the Kid Reddit for this clip, it's become a must for my prep now, every day. But you know how Brendan and Bryan don't care about the haters, B? They don't care about the haters, B. The haters, B, haters are nothing. For two guys who spend a lot of time talking about how they don't give a shit about the haters, they do spend a lot of time talking about the haters. Not only that, they go on their Reddit and try to trace back people's VPNs or whatever, or IP addresses, so they can find out who the haters are. That's a really weird way to not give a shit about their haters. They lie to people, these two, and they tell them we've got 300 pages of dossiers on the people who hate us. Well, first of all, no, you don't. But second of all, that's remarkably mentally ill of you. Let's watch a seething moment. I guess they had a guy on their show who does like a raw food diet or something. And people were like, basically people's response to that was,
yeah, that's gay. We're gay.
They called it gay. But it's Pride Month.
We gon' hump them, we gon' suck their dicks off. We gon' hump them, we gon' suck their dicks off.
So it's okay to put that on there. So they're reading some of the comments about the raw food guy. And you tell me if they're just talking shit at the raw food haters, or if this is two guys projecting a little bit of their own shit onto the raw food people.
Guys, they're going to live their life on their terms. He's like, I'm going to wear just shorts.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a caveman.
People hate it. And why do they hate it, B?
Because
it's triggering, because they can't live that life.
Yeah, they're afraid.
Wow, Brendan. Brendan never misses an opportunity to make all the hater stuff about he and Bryan. Because you know why Brendan says this stuff. He doesn't give a shit about the raw foods guy. Brendan doesn't give a shit about anybody other than Brendan. The reason Brendan's saying that is because he is the most hated guy in the world right now. There's like Brendan Schaub and then Vladimir Putin and then gasoline. Those are the three most hated things in the world right now. And he happens to be at the top of it. So whenever he sees someone getting haters, he goes, no, you know what it is, B? And by the way, the B thing is something we say to make fun of you, stupid, and you just keep doing it. Because you know what it is, B? Bro, check this out. They hate us because they ain't us, doggy. Ugh. Let's watch that again. Watch the cope from Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a caveman.
People hate it. And why do they hate it, B?
Because
it's triggering, because they can't live that life.
Yeah, they're.
And by the way, can this motherfucker stop interrupting when he asks people questions? And why do they hate it, B? Well, I like to, because they can't live that life. Well, yeah, they probably don't have rich dads who own their company for them, Brendan. God, you need to be a little more sensitive, I think. And he goes, it's triggering. No, Brendan, you're talking about yourself. It's triggering for you. Because, again, you're like Vladimir Putin at this point.
They're afraid to put it all on the line
Yes.
like that.
Oh.
I mean, he's made a fucking...
That's why they're making fun of the gay dude who eats nothing but raw food. They're not making fun of him because it's funny and stupid and niche, like vegans. They're making fun of him because they're too scared to eat raw food. Give me a fucking onion. I'll eat it right now on the show. I'll show you. I'll eat a goddamn kumquat live on the air. I ain't never scared. God damn it.
Yeah, that's gay. We're gay.
These two are pathetic.
fucking living doing just being a fucking raw food and, raw meat. And
I would imagine those people hating on them, I'd be willing to bet even their avatar is not the real photo. It's
Oh, is this guy obsessed with the haters, B? For a guy who doesn't care about the haters, he spends a lot of his time talking about the haters, B. Oh, I bet you their avatar isn't even really their avatar. Nobody thinks about a hater's avatar, Brendan, unless they've got their head so far up their ass they eat their breakfast twice. Jesus, Schaub. Stop projecting. We can see it all the way over here.
They're even scared to put that out there.
Oh, yeah.
Let alone this guy in fucking jean shorts with raw liver, you know?
Do you know what people don't realize? The more you hate and the more you do that, it just drives the algorithm up and you make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see? Is this not a cope? Is this not projection? Bryan, you don't know that about the raw liver guy. You're talking about you two. And you wish that you were making more money now than you were before the hate started. It's all taking a hit, Bryan. It's all taking a hit. Could you two cope any harder than you already are? I would venture a guess and say that I don't think it's possible to cope any harder than this. That whole cope they just did over this raw liver guy, this raw meat guy, had nothing to do with him and everything to do with them. I don't think you can cope harder than that. We've got one more Brendan-related clip, and it actually comes from Bobby Lee. Now, I have to be honest. I don't know how much I actually like Bobby Lee or if he's just like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, because Bobby's weak. You know, I feel bad for Bobby. Bobby's weak. And his girlfriend fucks other dudes. Like they have an open relationship. But if you're in your 50s and your chick is in her late 20s or 30s and you have an open relationship, all that means is she's she's with you for the money. But in order to keep her, you have to let her fuck other dudes. And to me, there's just something about, maybe I'm just old school. There's something about that I have a hard time respecting you for. You know, do whatever makes you happy. You know, Bobby Lee doesn't strike me as the happiest guy in the world, but do whatever makes you happy. But I have a hard time sitting here going, oh, Bobby's the best. Isn't Bobby wonderful? No, Bobby's the less shitty out of the Brendan Schaub, Bryan Callen, Bobby Lee thing. That's all. By the way, guys, what do you think about Brendan Schaub and Kenny Bolin going up for clips after the show tonight? I think that sounds like a goddamn great idea. So I got one more clip for you. This is Bobby Lee on his show talking about the Brendan Schaub drama and talking about how a lot of comics got his back, sent him messages saying, fuck this Brendan Schaub guy. And it sounds like the likes of Louis J. Gomez, Tim Dillon, Giannis Pappas, the guys on Come Town, like all the quote-unquote cool comics got Bobby Lee's side. Even Joe Rogan. Love Bobby Lee. He's great. I wish all this high school shit wasn't going down. Even Joe Rogan publicly came out in support of Bobby. So now, Bobby Lee is like, I don't know if I want to name names. And his co-hosts spend the next 45 seconds begging him to name names until he coughs one up. Let's play this Bobby Lee clip.
I don't like being in conflict with other podcasters, especially because, you know, we are a community, you know. I mean, I know that, I wish I could say this, but I'm not. You could tell there's divisions. See why I say I can't jump on fully with Bobby Lee? There's just a weakness that I can't get behind. Kalila, like, you can hate her if you want to, but you can tell the wheels are turning there. Like, she's got ambition. She's a mover and a shaker. What she lacks in talent, she makes up for in ruthlessness. This Kalila. Right. So when this whole thing went down, you know, my phone, I got texts from allies, right?
Oh, boy.
But then, like, the ones that didn't text, you could tell, like, there was a division.
Can you say who the allies are, or no?
No,
because if I tell you the fucking allies, you're going to just deduce and go, oh, those... No, you could, because it's not...
I like this guy. I like their producer. That's how you're supposed to do a show like this. You're supposed to go, spit it out, motherfucker. Come on. And the more agitated he gets, the more you go, come on. Name it. Come on. Tell him, Steve Dave.
I have a lot more allies that never call because they know that I'm uncomfortable. And they're so... I could tell you...
There was one ally that I heard that was just a funny call.
I like this little shit
Okay,
stir.
so I'll tell you who did call to see how I am.
The funniest phone
call
was right after H3.
It was hilarious.
I'm calling to threaten you is what he said.
Oh, yeah, it was Segura.
Bobby, I'm not going to name any names. There's one phone call. I'm not naming names. He said, I'm calling to threaten you. Oh, yeah, it was Segura.
Immediately after he threatened me, I'm calling to threaten you. And I'm like, come on, man. You know what I mean? And he asked me how I was. So Segura.
So there you go. Tom Segura, who I'm not a big fan of, by the way. But Tom Segura went on the record, and he backed Bobby Lee. So that was really nice. I don't know how to feel about that. The fact that there's a nice thing coming from Tom Segura that I can't, instantly hate. I don't like it. Well, guys, we're going to cut both of those two clips out, and we're going to run them separately. So I hope April's okay with me sitting down here. I got to cut up DSP from last night.
Don't bother me any.
I got to cut up, oh, you don't want me around?
I never said that.
Brendan Schaub, Kenny Bolin. How do you like the show so far?